So here we are with the Burton AK Swash Pant, and it's been around for a while now. It replaced the Stagger years ago, so if you're coming back into the outerwear world and wondering where your Stagger is, here it is. And I really like this pant. I'm trying it on pre-season, but for the first time in years, it took me so long to get this site going the way I wanted it to. I worked so damn much, I got fat. All I did was snowboard and sit in front of a computer, and I'm finally kind of getting back to who I've been most of my life. I still got some weight to lose, but these mediums fit so much better with old James' body than the past few years, where I've been the fattest I've ever been in my life and worked the most I've ever done in my life. So it's nice to know Burton didn't get that tight. I just got a little thicker, and so if you see some older reviews, kind of maybe take those with a grain of salt. Now that I'm a true medium, and a couple things that I really love about Burton pants is this double button. You really don't need a belt with these, where almost every other pant like Volcom has Velcro and a snap, and you can just lean forward, put a little too much effort into a turn, or have some unexpected thing where your stomach comes out and it just pops open. It can kind of suck, and I almost always wear a belt with those. They're great pants, but they just don't have the double button system like Burton does. Burton also has on both sides, pre-season and post-season fit. So pre-season, you put it out all the way baggy, and by the end of the season, mid to end season, you bring it all the way forward. A lot of companies have this. My one complaint about this pant is that they got rid of one of my favorite things, and that was fleece in the butt and knees. They used to have fleece in the butt, so when you sat on the chair, you felt great. And when your knees were like this on the chair and the wind was blowing up against them, you didn't get off the chair cold. It just gave you that added bit of warmth in those critical areas. It's not really for people, just don't sit down on the snow and put on your board. Do it standing up, blah, blah, blah. But sitting on that chair, it was amazing for that. And I really miss that. Now it's just taffeta, and that's nowhere near as warm. It doesn't feel as good. It's an easier entry, but it's still far from ideal. Now, double fleece line pockets that go all the way down here. Two kind of like stealth pockets right here that come down well past my knees, and probably yours as well, but you can see my specs down below and kind of figure out how this will play out. One thing I love, and this is, you just have to be careful with this. It's a little complaint, but it's also cool. There's no mesh here. This just opens wide up. But one of the things I don't like about it is this can come open sometimes and just freeze your leg. As you're riding and you don't even know what's happening, you're like, why is it so damn cold? And it just opens up on its own sometimes. But, but it's still great, because with this continuous vent here, you really get some cross flow. So this is a little bit warm for a shell, for technical, technical layer. And it's 2-layer with taffeta. So it's a layer, Gore-Tex, and then taffeta protecting that layer. So it's not like a 3-layer where they, weld the Gore-Tex inside. But it's still bomb-proof. It's some of the best waterproofing out there. And breathability's in the upper tier too. It's not as good as waterproofing, but it's close. But with double venting, who cares, right? These are just really durable pants. They feel a little bit warm for a shell, and each material is different. I don't know all the materials, and I don't have access to all the materials, but I know this and the faded both feel very similar. Here, I'll actually show you. Another rider in our crew is getting faded, and you know, very much the same material. This feels maybe a touch more coarse, but it's all about the same, and they feel about the same warmth. There is some mesh, you know, in some areas, but taffeta in a lot. I wish it was taffeta and fleece, or all taffeta. That would be much better, but that's what it is now. They're, you know, it seems like a little bit of cost cutting, and I love these. These look like a pair of Swash I've had for a few years that do have fleece in the button knees that came to me black, but a few years later they now look this color, so it's kind of very appropriate. You got two nice little back pockets, and they're just, you know, it's just taffeta in the liner there, and they're deep enough, but you've got a lot of pockets. You've got good venting. Last thing I always forget to mention, but I want to, I gotta remember, is you have this little thing where you can pull this up and protect your boots when you walk, so it's not touching the ground like this one. And even though you have reinforcement there, that's pretty cool. The one thing I'm not super into is there's no button here. So I find this comes open and closed a lot. But other than that, I mean, you know, no pant is without some fault. But all in all, these are great pants. And, you know, they're still remaining favorites, and if you want, you know, a technical shell, and you don't, you know, necessarily want to spend the really high price for 3-layer Gore-Tex, you get almost all the same stuff going on. A little more warmth than a lot of those super technical shells, but I mean, you're talking like, it's all versions of cold. It's just a little bit warmer than super cold. So there you have it, the AK Swash. It's a pant I love to own almost every year. I miss the fleece and the button knees. I wish they'd bring it back. I wish it would be all taffeta, then fleece and the button the knees. It's so much better, but it's still a great pant, and it's still a pant I like to own, and I bring it out in the you know, the gnarliest of weather, and it always treats me well, year over year. 100+ days, 200 days on a pant, and it's still kicking ass as long as you maintain, wash it, and take care of it.